Dr. Fauci, I think it's a comfort to a lot of Americans just to know that you are the president's top advisor on these matters and that you are meeting with him regularly and that you are in communication with him.
You're great. How great are you, Dr. Fauci? Actually, it should give us the opposite of comfort, that someone who has been as wrong and deceptive as many times as Fauci has been, that he's anywhere near federal decision-making on the pandemic or anything else for that matter. Last night, we learned that he urged President Trump not to tout the possibility of a fast vaccine. Was Dr. Fauci urging you to downplay this idea that a vaccine could be ready by the late fall? Was he urging you all to do that?
Well, not only urging us not to do it, he said it was irresponsible to talk about the fact that we could possibly have a vaccine by any time, let me give it, July 4th of this coming year.
Ooh, that was new news. Well, also, Fauci told us masks didn't work. Now he claims you need 2 of them. He purposely moved the goalposts on herd immunity. My goodness, the guy spins so much, his head's about to twist off his shoulders. And of course, the media, well, they're too busy spooning with him to fact check him, not on his predictions or on his phony warnings of super spreader events that weren't, not on his constant doomsday scenarios, despite the mounting evidence that the virus is largely behind us. Fear-mongering about virus variants? Yeah, that's Fauci's stock and trade, and that Biden repeated today in the Rose Garden.
You may find yourself playing whack-a-mole with the variants, because we have a lot of different variants.
This is not over. Conditions can change. We're not finished yet. Conditions can change. The scientists have warned us about new variants of this virus.
The pandemic has always been looked at by these people as an opportunity or a pretext for putting us on the road to socialism. And that's where we are with the nearly $2 trillion bill that they all celebrated today in the Rose Garden. Again, the big lie was that we needed that bill at all. Most of it isn't really COVID-related or necessary. It's a grab bag of bailouts and handouts to irresponsible cities and states. I know what you're wondering now. With the enormity of their deception, how can we turn things around? That lies left unchallenged eventually become accepted truths. Well, from John Steinbeck's East of Eden, remember this line. Most liars are tripped up either because they forget what they told or because the lie is suddenly faced with an incontrovertible truth. Well, incontrovertible truths are finally beginning to catch up to Biden and Fauci. We know the truth now about lockdowns and that red state governors were right to open up early on. We know that the WHO is a co-conspirator in China's COVID cover-up. And we also know, virus or no virus, that the government has no power to take away our inalienable rights. And that's the angle. Joining me now is Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, you have been one of the few lawmakers to directly call out Dr. Fauci's lies. Are people afraid to question him? And if so, why?
Well, it's the science, and people are afraid of, scientists, and he's put on a pedestal. But you have to remember that his lies are noble lies, Laura. He's not telling you this because he's a mean man. He's telling you lies because he feels sorry for you because you don't understand and Americans aren't smart enough to make informed decision. So he fashions himself some sort of Greek philosopher. He tells you these noble lies. So at first he told you that all the masks don't work, but he told you that because he wanted to protect the N95 masks, which actually in a health setting do work. But then later on, he said all masks do work, but that's also a lie also, because really only the N95 masks work. But it's a compilation of lies, but they're all done to protect you because he doesn't think you're smart enough to make any of these decisions on your own.
Senator, I think one of the goals of this administration is to remove the old touchstones that really did bind our country together, even 4th of July fireworks celebrations. Because if you're an awful, rotten, racist country, why should you even have the 4th of July? So the National Park Service under Biden is now canceling the 4th of July fireworks at Mount Rushmore, claiming that it's the potential risk to the park itself and to health and safety of employees and visitors associated, blah, blah, blah. Kristi Noem, not happy about that, the governor of South Dakota. What's really at play here?
Well, to show you so far out of touch that President Biden is, he says he's going to let us get together with 2 or 3 people from our family July 4th. Has he not met anybody? Nobody, everybody is making their own decisions now where we are forced to comply with Dr. Fauci and his Fauciisms. We do, but in private, most of us are doing what we want, when we want, and have been for a long, long time. We do try to take precautions, but to tell you the truth, none of the state mandates or state lockdowns have had any influence. And I hope we will study this in an objective way, because you can sequentially look at the date when each mandate was passed, when the mandates got ratcheted up, and you can look at the incidence of the disease. And what you find is that they're proportional, meaning that the more mandates we got, the more disease we got. Now, the mandates didn't cause the disease, but there's no evidence that the mandates slowed down the disease at all. Zero evidence of it.
Lockdowns didn't work. Look at Europe. Look at Europe with their third wave now. How the lockdowns work for Italy. Senator, you have to hand it to the Democrats, though, okay? They all know how to coordinate, and unlike sometimes the Republicans, they do stay on message.
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way.
I guess it's becoming an overused phrase that help was on the way.
Well, they were talking, of course, about the COVID relief bill, and the message is, and they're going to take it on the road, that Americans, finally, we have your savior, and it's big government, and the checks are in the mail.
And President Biden apparently has created this new vaccine. I didn't realize there was a vaccine out, and all of a sudden there's this brand new COVID vaccine, and everybody's getting it. And thanks to President Biden and his caring and his empathy, we're all going to get better now. But I don't think that truth they can actually push and get people to believe that it didn't have anything to do with President Trump, that we didn't get this vaccine in record time in 9 months. And really, President Trump was criticized for a lot of things, but one thing he did do was shake things up in the bureaucracy, and he didn't take no for an answer. So I think in many ways his personality may not have always been perfect, but when you got to shake heads together, when you got to get people in the bureaucracy to actually do something, I think President Trump's personality actually did force the issue on the vaccine and probably helped it to get done in record time.
Yeah, on that and the border and China and so many other issues. Senator, that's an excellent point. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.